Hello and welcome back to episode 10 of Unknown to World Known Club 7. However, we aren't going to be doing any updates on Bayern Munich today. We're going to be looking at the European Championship with England. And the first thing I want to point out about the Euros is I've had a look at the stadiums. It's hosted in England, and yet Wembley Stadium is not one of the host stadiums, but Portman Road and the Bet365 are. I wish I could give any explanation for that, but I can't. So we're going to go straight in to play Scotland, which is at the Emirates Stadium. This is the squad that I've picked for England. So that's the 23-man squad that we've gone with. You can see there how we're going to be lined up for today, but let's go and get into that game. And for the first game against Scotland, we've got Ramsdale in goal. Howarth, Iron, Tomori and Tong as our back four. Alexander-Arnold, the holding midfielder. Bellingham and Foden in front of him. Then Greenwood on the right, Sancho on the left, and Piesse up front as the lone striker. It's a more traditional 4-5-1 that we're going for with England, rather than the unconventional 4-4-2 diamond that we've got with Bayern Munich at the moment. Obviously with the wing backs, but that's not going to be featuring here. England haven't really got the players for it, as Piesse took it well round Caldwell, but wasn't quite able to get the angle back to put it into the back of the net. Nothing he did. It was a very nice bit of play. Just the angle was too tight, unfortunately. And now Scotland on the ball. Gilmour plays it back to King. I don't know how good Scotland have turned out on this because I haven't been paying attention to them, to be honest. Who pays attention to Scotland Day? Tong brings it down. I'm expecting the only challenge I will face in this group would be Israel, and I would hope that will be the case. However, 15 minutes in, we've been the only one threatening, and Piesse now, from the free kick from Phil Foden, has put us 1-0 up. And what a fantastic start to the Euros we've had. Foden with the cross, Piesse's in there. I don't know how he's won the header with four guys around him, but he has. The other thing just to note as well, in this tournament, we're playing Spain in our second group game, and then Israel in the third. I believe if we win our second group game, that will see us into the next round, so we might just skip to the next round rather than show you the game against Israel if we qualify after the Spain game. We won't know about that quite yet, but we'll see what the plan is as Piesse finds Greenwood, and that was a bad miss from Greenwood. Considering how good he's been for England, I think he's now their top goal scorer, I think on about 90 goals, I believe. We're getting a lot of bookings at the moment, which I'm not a big fan of, because in a tournament like this, bookings can so easily cost you. Sancho sends it inside to Bellingham. He sends it back out to Tong, who plays it to Sancho, back to Tong, across the floor. Foden has his shot blocked by King, but we are threatening once again. And now corner from Foden, it's headed away easily by Roberts, and Adams trying to break for Scotland. And we've got men back, so there we are. Tomori deals well with it, and we see ourselves through. They still haven't had a shot at all, but we've now got 4 yellow cards, and 3 of them are defensive players, which is concerning when you think, yeah, Alexander-Arnold's still very good on this at the moment. I think he's probably only got another year or 2 in him, I would imagine. I could be wrong. What a ball through from Foden to find Piesse, and that is 2-0, as easy as you like, straight off from half time. And on that note, we're going to just lower the tempo, try and make them chase us a bit, so that we can then get to a point where we can catch them on the break again, get it to 3, and then relax. But what a pass from Foden. That was phenomenal. And we are getting close to the point of saying, well, let's take it easy for the next group game. Bellingham finds Arnold and sends it to Foden. Sancho now with a chance to run, but he plays it inside to Bellingham, and that's a poor pass to try and find Greenwood. But then we easily recover the ball once again. And that's one thing that I have found with this England team at the moment. Obviously, been playing friendlies as well. PSA's in again, and that this time Caldwell with the save. One thing England have done really well while I've been in charge of them is we're not getting caught on the counter attack very often. They're winning the ball off us when we try that last through ball, but then in intercepting that pass, they're tending to give the ball straight back to us, and we're back in possession. It's been going really well for us. I don't think I've lost as England boss either. Believe I've won every game so far, which has been lovely, and hopefully it can continue through the Euros. Bellingham finds PSA, another fantastic tackle, but he then drills it back in, and Caldwell punched it very dangerously back into the box. We are going to have to look at getting somebody off soon. We might look at bringing Alexander-Arnold off and maybe Sancho. Looking at the older players to bring off first so that their experience can be used later in the tournament. PSA's made it 3-0, and that is the note for me to go, okay, let's get Declan Rice in there, Godfrey, and we'll send Rashford on as well. At 3-0, PSA. Fantastic game from him as he makes a very early statement for he's coming for the golden boot of the tournament, and hopefully he can continue to score goals and take us deep into the tournament. Foden with the corner, and it's 4 for PSA. It's 4-0 against Scotland, and all 4 have come from PSA. He's a little bit good, isn't he? And it's another header this time, scoring all sorts of goals. Tomori now plays it to Foden, who does get tackled, but Bellingham plays it through for PSA. It's 5, and it's 5 for PSA. You have European Championships and World Cups where 5 wins you the golden boot. He's got it in 1 game. Like, it's at the point here, if we get through to the second round, he's winning the golden boot. I wonder what the record for most goals scored in the European Championship is. I'm going to be having a look. I'll let you know in the next game, because PSA could be on for a record here, and he's only 1 game in. Absolutely phenomenal start to the Euros for us. Big well done to everybody, and putting Scotland in their place, bottom of the group. Let's go and see how we do against Spain, and of course I'll come back with some news on if PSA, how good of a chance PSA has of breaking a golden boot record. Okay, so we're back for the second group game. The only change we've made is Godfrey has come in for Tomori in left centre back. Spain, managed by Jose Mourinho. It's a rematch of last time when we played them in the Nations League final. So we're going to get underway here just with the one change. As mentioned, I did do some research between the first game and second game, and as Ansu Fati goes in on Alexander-Arnold and then Tung with a poor pass forward, and it's cleared up to Godfrey, but we're going to come back at them. Arnold finds Greenwood, who plays it in for PSA, and that's another goal for him. And funnily enough, that leads us very nicely onto the next subject that I was about to bring up before that went in. So PSA in that single game has already broke one record, the most goals in a single game. Currently in the European Championship, there's only ever been hat-tricks. Nobody's ever scored 4 in one game. PSA has, of course, just broken that with getting 5. The other things that we've got him on for at the moment, the most goals by a player in the European Championship is 9 goals. Well, he's already now got 6 in this tournament. The only other person to get 9 goals in European Championships is Ronaldo, and that's over 4 or 5, I think. 5? No, 4, because we haven't had the 2021 in real life. So, PSA in that first game, he, as I mentioned, if we can, potentially against Israel, we probably won't play him against Israel, if I'm being honest, as Greenwood gets our second of the game. Very nicely worked by Howarth. But yeah, potential for PSA to break that record in the group stages even. What we may do is bring him off at half time if this carries on as it's going, and get him out there for the first half against Israel to get. Oh, that's a nasty tackle from Antonio, and off he goes, which means they're down to 10 men. This is a chance for PSA to get more goals again. Alexander-Arnold with the free kick sends it in. Foden's in there. I did think he was offside. Only just, but he was offside. But yeah, PSA has started fantastically, and maybe we give him 45 minutes against Israel to try and get a bit closer to that record. Another record that I did spot is the most goals in a single tournament is currently France in 1984, where they scored 14 goals. First of all, Platini scored 9 of them. That's ridiculous in itself. But we're already on 7. We're a game and a quarter in. We could be breaking all sorts of records as Tong gets a tackle in, but it falls to Miranda very kindly, who gets one back for Spain. And that's a bit of a reminder, don't get ahead of yourself, Andrew. You've got a long way to go yet. But nevertheless, we are currently top of the group. Scotland won 5-2 against Israel in the other game that was played earlier today. Ball goes into Greenwood. It's cleared to Alexander-Arnold, who's gone from range, and he's scored a fantastic goal to make it 3-1 and restore our 2-goal lead. How long did that take? 7 minutes, and we're back to a 2-goal lead. Fantastic. Greenwood with the ball out of Arnold. Nobody's tracking him. And what a strike. I mean, I bought him as a right back and realised how good he is at holding midfield. I think he's our best holding midfielder that we've got with us. Whereas right back, we've got Howarth, who's as good. I think we've got somebody else who's very good there as well, actually. But it's kind of allowed Alexander-Arnold to sit in that holding midfield, where him and Declan Rice kind of have the... Yeah, that they'll be the two that play there. But 3-1 at half time, and we are looking in a lot of control. And hopefully we can see that through. I am tempted to bring PSA off. Do we or don't we? No, I'm not going to yet. We'll bring him off in the second half, but not quite this early. We are going to bring Sancho off, I think, for Rashford again, actually. Send Rashford out for the second half. Make sure Sancho is ready for the rest of the tournament. Greenwood sends it into Bellingham. Howarth now plays it back to Bellingham. Bellingham sends it just over Rashford, but Tong sends it back in. Alexander-Arnold has gone from range again and he scored again. Alexander-Arnold with his second goal of the game. And it's another stunner. Tong just gets the ball back from Rashford and just thinks, you know what, have a go. And Trent just says, no problem at all, bends it past the keeper. That was an unreal strike. And now we go into, Tong, Foden. In fact, part of you thinks, leave the guys on the yellow card out there. Because if they get another yellow, they're only going to miss the game against Israel, which at this point, I'm fairly sure will be inconsequential. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave them out there and let's make sure we rest Alexander-Arnold again, because with the form he's in, we are going to want him later in the tournament. So he's not going to play any part in the Israel game, barring Declan Rice getting injured. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. He's found Howe off on the right-hand side, though, and plays it to Bellingham. Howe off now, back to the edge for Trent to hit again. Oh, he had one last chance to try and get the hat-trick. He sends it just over, unfortunately. But nevertheless, 4-1. It's an emphatic start. Ball towards the far post, Iron somehow heads that over the bar. And we are approaching the last few minutes of the game. Foden with another free kick. He sends it in. PSA's there. Oh, it's another goal for PSA. What's that now? 7 that he's on for the tournament? We're on 10. The record is 14. This is silly. And this is against Spain. The team I said would be a problem for us. Foden sends it to the far post. Oh, PSA nearly making it 6. But these are the guys that were meant to cause us trouble, and we've just swept them aside completely. Well, that was unexpected, I would say. I thought we had it in us to win against Spain. I didn't expect us to do that to them. And we are through to the second round of the European Championships. I think what we're going to do then is we're going to do the Israel game off camera. We'll come back for the second round and hopefully the third round. I think that's going to be the best thing for us at this point. There's no point in showing you Israel. There's just no point. So we'll be back tomorrow for the second round and hopefully the quarterfinals. If you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like. Comment down below what stage you think we're gonna get to. I'm fairly confident after those performances we can get at least to the semi-final. I'm half expecting to go ahead and win the whole thing. And subscribe if you are enjoying the series. Thank you very much for watching.